Ok, standardowe pierwsze pytanie, czy jest dźwięk? Czy mnie słychać? Możecie mi napisać w komentarzach, czy wszystko słychać? Dobra, wiem, że słychać, ok. Oh, hi Bob. Where? I'm gonna try to add Chris to the conversation. Okay, so here's the thing. This live should be done on YouTube, but something went wrong as usual, and I couldn't make it. Chris? Okay, so I tried to add you, Chris, and
oh my God, it worked!
It took a while.
Me too.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
It's a technological.
Yeah, I would call it a miracle. So do you have headphones of some kind? So, or
No. Should I go get some?
can you?
Then you need to wait 2 minutes. I need to run into the house and grab some.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk for 2 minutes, I guess.
Your crowd.
Okay, so as you saw, our guest today is Chris, that you probably know as HemiStorm, and he answered to our 5 questions too about 6 years ago or 7, something like this. And as you all know, it used to be only on paper, actually on the website rcnennox.com. And today we're gonna ask him the same questions once again on Facebook Live, of course. So what else can I tell you? If you have any questions, of course, you can write them down and I will try to read them and ask Chris if I find this option. So we are waiting for Chris, basically, right now. Oh, and I'm gonna post this live on YouTube also later on with Polish subtitles. So będzie ten live później z polskimi napisami, także jeżeli nie rozumiecie po angielsku, to będziecie mieli taką opcję, żeby obejrzeć jeszcze raz. Dobra, dajcie mi chwilę, spróbuję włączyć tak, żebym widziała komentarze. Hi Chris.
Hi. Hold on. Then I need to take my entire phone out of its case. Like that. Let's see. Does this work?
Yeah, I can hear you, I can see
Hello?
you.
Hello.
Hello?
It's a miracle.
So many miracles in one day.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Okay,
I'm still surprised I got Skype up and running as well on my other thing here, which I'm going to turn off.
Okay.
There. So, how are you?
I'm okay.
Well, this was stressful, wasn't it? How long? Well, this is 23 minutes later than planned.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I'm considering switching my Miss Boss RC to some kind of technical difficulties nick on Instagram because always something goes wrong.
I guess that's the thing with going live, that everything needs to work out. So that's also why I don't see how like Matthew and Harley can do it every week or twice a week, where everything just goes right. They must have some amazing setups.
Yeah, and they have 2 cameras and all equipment is ready to go. I think that they just know what they do. Oh God!
Yeah, there's so much stuff to keep into account when you're live streaming.
Yeah, there is some stuff, but fortunately we were able to connect on Facebook, so that's good.
Yes.
It's sometimes not happening, so it's a miracle. Okay, so can we start with the first question, as we are late already?
Yes. First question. Let's go.
Okay. How has your RC adventure started, and what was your first RC?
My RC adventure started, well, I guess if you really go like toy grade, it started with a Nico monster truck, which was orange. And I'm not sure which one it was, because I have tried to find a similar one like later on in my life, of course, because everybody wants to have the toys back from when they were a kid. But I haven't really been able to find it. All I know is that it was orange. It looked kind of like a Peugeot, but it had like monster truck wheels. And that was back when I was 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was 16, I guess, I bought my first hobby grade RC, which was a Tamiya.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a long break from my RC. And then I bought an HPI Firestorm back when I was 25, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a while back, because I'm almost 40.
So, and you're in the hobby since then, or did you have more breaks?
Oh no! After I bought my Firestorm, I wanted to buy a HPI Baja, so one of those. And actually, the one that I bought still stands there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to buy a Baja, but I couldn't really justify the cost, because at that point I had just purchased a house
Mm-hmm.
in Holland, and I was doing that up. It needed like complete renovation, so all of my money went into the house. So I was like, I can't really swing. It was basically 2,000 euros for an RC toy currently. So I was like, you know what? I'll buy a Firestorm if I'm still using it after a year. Then I will reward myself by buying a Baja. So that's how it went. And then bought the Baja. Got really hooked, really super deep into it. Also spent a ton of money on the thing. I think I got like 6,000 euros or something in that truck.
Okay.
So it completely got out of hand. I got like 10 exhausts for it. I just wanted to have everything, like all these different sets of tires. But that's when I started making parts for RCs. Yeah, that's actually how I somehow ended up here. A lot of people don't know, but HemiStorm is is a manufacturing company. So I manufacture bodies. So the body that you see on this HPI Baja, that's something that I manufactured. I started out with making dog bone boots, so drive shaft boots. And the boots that I developed, which were called Hemi boots, because everything needed to be called something with Hemi just to make it recognizable. They had like a special feature where they would not rotate with drive shafts. So you had like a dog bone construction in the back of those HPI Bajas. And then my drive boots, they would fit around the hub and around the transmission case. So all they would do is basically they would harmonica up and down. and then the drive shaft would rotate on the inside. And I sold a ton of those, and I sold so many of those that at some point I could choose. I could continue working as a carpenter, or I could sell RC parts for a living. So I just decided to do the RC thing for a while. And then I decided to go do my own marketing, and that's how we somehow ended up with me making videos on YouTube, because I'm really not someone to stand in front of a crowd and be comfortable with that. I also hated school plays, or what do you call it, where you have like those special evenings in school when all the parents come and they go, look, you need to like sing a song. I didn't like those either. Didn't like school presentations. So the whole fact that there's so many people watching on YouTube still baffles my mind, to be honest.
Yeah, but it is very different, right? Because you realize there are people, but you don't see them, so you are more relaxed, I guess, when you make a video, right? Than going in front of a big crowd.
Yeah, well, it still freaks me out a bit, because well, you do have at times. I've been fortunate enough to go to some events, and there you kind of see how many people actually watch, and that can be a bit strange, because I mean, I live in the forest. I don't see anybody apart from my wife and kids, especially right now. And yeah, so seeing that that when you come to an event, that people on the other side of the world have watched a video of yours, that to me is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's like you're living in this bubble, or you do your thing, and then you go out, and it's like, whoa, I'm kind of recognizable,
Yeah,
right?
you do see, of course, when you make a video, you see numbers on the screen, and you see that so many people have watched the video, and those people like it, and you get like comments, but comments as well. I am pretty aware of that. Every view is a person, and every comment is also is somebody who, you know, with a lot of people, I go back like all the way to the start, from when I just started my channel, and I know from a lot of people, like, oh, this person moved, or this person lost their job, or this person just got a new job, or oh, that guy just lost his mom, you know. So there's a lot to keep track of, and at times that becomes a bit much if you want to set the bar high for yourself and keep doing it right, or push to make some better content as well in the process. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if everybody at times has a hard time with that aspect of making videos, perhaps. But I find that weighs on me at times.
Yeah, but it's not as difficult and bad. It doesn't make you want to stop, right?
No. It does mess with my motivation at times. That I just find it difficult to make like a new video, just because I'm very much a critic of myself. So where I used to just make a video and be able to turn out a video in a day, I can't seem to do that anymore, and that I do find annoying. That I'm a bit too tough perhaps on myself. That I can be perhaps more relaxed. Just also say some stuff that maybe isn't like 100% correct, and just be comfortable with that as well, or say or like a couple too many times, and not go like, oh, you know what, now I need to reshoot the whole video just because I'm annoying myself. So that is a factor.
Do you often reshoot videos? Did it happen?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Right now I'm into 3D printing, and this to me is a whole new world. This is a collaboration with two companies. So for me, the pressure is on to also do right by them, I feel, and make sure that they see that I deserve this opportunity. So I want to do everything correct, and I want to make sure that I have all my facts correct. And then in the meantime, you do need to also make a video that hopefully is entertaining to watch for people who are also new to 3D printing in this case.
Did you ever had to record the video more than 2 times? Did it happen?
Oh, I have some videos that I recorded 17 times.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because also I shoot the video once. So, for example, when I unbox a truck, I unbox the truck, but I make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So I make sure that I know if there's, for example, directional links, or if there's helical gears, or if there's like a high interest pinion, and I need to make sure that I hit all the marks on what I want to tell, because I do want to have all of the information in there without looking at a sheet or without having a cheat sheet under my camera, because this is all stuff that I'm supposed to know. I need to know that that motor has 27 turns and that the ESC is waterproof and it comes with a DX3 radio, stuff like that. So yeah, it is a lot, and some days I have that I shoot the video. I can be like occupied with shooting a video an entire evening, throw all my footage away, and then have like the next day where I nail it in one go. So it's all a matter of if you're in the right mood as well, I guess, to make a video that day.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, with painting, there's no second chances, because if I'm in the middle of a painting video and I mess up something that I'm trying to tell there, or if I forget something and I look it back afterwards, there's no me unpainting the body to a certain extent to make sure that I get that info in there. But I guess that's also a reason for me to keep going with the painting videos, because there's always something that I go like, oh, you know what, I should have told that, or I should have showed that a bit more in depth. But yeah, that's just the way that my channel works, I guess.
Okay, and it works, definitely. Looking at the numbers, it's working.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
The second question.
Which
RC that you own or owned is your favorite?
My favorite, oh God, I think my Yeti XXL.
Why? What do you like about it the most?
Well, that is such a technologically advanced car. So I took a Yeti XL. For the people who don't know what a Yeti XL is, at some point Axial decided it was a great idea to dab into the 8-scale world, which I also thought was a great idea, by the way, because I thought it was an amazing truck. Didn't perform all that well in the durability department, but put one of them together, had a lot of fun with it, because it's exactly like up my alley. So it's big, it's it's something that just has like a bit more body than like a 10 scale. So I liked all that about it. And then when I was looking at the single version that I had, I looked and I was like, you know what? It is so angular that it makes total sense to just hack off the front part of one part and then hack off the rear part of another and then splice them together, and then that way create a 4-seater. But just having a 4-seater is, of course, a bit lame. So that's when I thought, what if I manage to stretch it so much that I can also have 2 gearboxes, that I can have 2 motors, 2 ESCs, and I can mix those channels, so I can basically have dig and everything on the fly, or I can lock the front, lock the back, whatever I want to do, overdrive, underdrive. I can basically do anything with that truck. So then I ended up building this thing. Have you seen it ever up close or not?
If you can show us, that would be great.
So this is it. So usually this part that you see here would sit here.
Okay.
So this entire section is basically this, like again. So if you have a single version, it looks like this.
Okay.
But it's had quite a bit of engineering challenges. But at that point, at that stage, I got contacted by a CNC company, and I was in talks with them about a CNC machine, and I thought, you know what, building such a truck, that is a great project to do on a CNC machine, especially for somebody who's starting out like me. So I decided to just go ahead with it. I machined a new bottom plate from Delrin. I machined two new uprights to tie those chassis together from carbon fiber. Yeah, did a ton of stuff to make it work. And then when it was done, I got invited by Castle, because it runs two Castle systems. So it runs a double 6S system. So there's two Marble Monster X ESCs in there, and there's two 1515 2200 kV motors in there. So it runs on 4 3S batteries. And when it was done, I took it to RCX in the States to stand in the Castle booth. So yeah, for me that was a huge thing, and it's still, I think, technologically, it's one of the coolest trucks that I own. Absolutely. Another favorite is well, the Baja, of course, just because that thing is so incredibly old. I'm pretty sure that it still starts. And I still like my my Mustang, my Unicorn. That one, that's an FG. Yeah, so I guess those three are my favorites, and they're all big.
But do you drive them, or they are like shelf queens? They just sit there.
Yeah, those are shelf queens, but I do plan to take the Yeti XXL out again. Just because I know that I have, since I split up 2 cars, I have a ton of spare parts. So in case I break something, I'll be able to source that. Yeah, but those, they're basically discontinued. Even the HPI Baja is discontinued. So it just stands here looking pretty.
Okay, so which car do you drive the most? Not from those three, but old.
Currently, the one that I drive most currently is my Gladiator, my Axial Gladiator. It also looks like it got a ton of use, but that one is also in the middle of getting modified with the 3D printer. And a truck that I really like driving, and it has a bit of mixed opinions, I guess, or it gets a bit of mixed reviews, is the Gatekeeper.
So what do you like about it?
Element Gatekeeper. It's so incredibly planted, because when you see it at first, especially seeing that it has like a full roll cage and everything, you think there's no way, and this is the kit version that I got. You think there's no way that it won't feel top heavy, but it's actually, that thing tackled lines that in some of my other trucks I haven't been able to take. So yeah, it blew my mind how well that thing crawls.
So how often do you take it out? How often do you drive?
Not nearly enough. I may be out driving, if I say once a week, I'm even lying, but yeah, not nearly enough. There's so much stuff to do, always. There's never enough hours in the day. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite terrain when you find time to go out with it?
Oh, right out of the door here. There's like rock, it's forest ground. I live really high up, so I live like 200 meters off the water. And I can see the fjord. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the fjords.
I am.
Oh, so I can see the water between Norway and Sweden on the other side. That's also as close to Sweden as you're going to get from here currently. But yeah, so I live in an amazing spot. There's trails everywhere, also for mountain biking and hiking and whatever you want to do. But to crawl, it's totally amazing. And there's a couple of really popular, I guess, hiking or walking areas here as well. And some of those paths, they're so narrow and they're so nice. Like, they're not kept, but they're just so nicely eroded that it's just a pure joy to go drive on those. And right now as well, the kids are a bit more in the age where they like going out with a truck. So That's a lot of fun. So they each have their own vehicle that they take crawling.
Mm-hmm.
They really like using them, but they're not that much into cleaning them yet or maintaining them. So that's something that we kind of need to work on.
Okay. So do you like to go just for a walk with your RC and see what you're gonna find, or do you have favorite spots to drive? Like
No, well, yeah. There's a couple of there's of course a couple of trails that I know are good, and where I know like, oh, you know, here's like a really interesting section where I can sort of like drive up a cliff, and where I know that some trucks will be able to handle the drive down, and others will just tumble and fall. That's also where I can kind of determine if a truck is like nice to drive or not. Because, for example, that's really where that gatekeeper blew my mind, because I was kind of certain that in one section, just because I haven't been able to tackle it with a ton of my other trucks. So in one section, I just knew that was really difficult and like hard on trucks. And it did that with ease. So much so that I stood there for half an hour just driving it over and over and over and going, I can't believe that wasn't a fluke. Mm-hmm. It's just so planted. So also seeing them now come out with that Ecto, which is basically a gatekeeper but then without the cage, mm-hmm. I think is a really good move. And I think that everybody who's kind of skeptical maybe about the look or whatnot, that skepticism will leave your system pretty easily once you get to drive it, because they make some really nice trucks to drive. Okay. Very enjoyable.
Okay, but other than that, you are living in a place that has a lot of rocks. Do you enjoy driving in the mud or on more sandy terrain, or?
Oh, well, we have this quarry where I used to shoot a ton of videos. Like if I want to take any of my other like fast trucks out, because I mean I have Savages, I have X-Maxes, I have Losi DBXL, I got my monster trucks that I also drove there. I got a ton of stuff. So in that quarry as well, it's an amazing place to drive. But it's basically cement. Mm-hmm. So you need to be prepared that when you get back, you're gonna have a really hard time cleaning your truck. So for that reason, of course, driving in the forest is way easier for me. But like fun-wise, nothing really beats the quarry. At some point we had I felt uncomfortable going there for a while, just because there were a lot of people going there, and there were also a lot of people really thrashing the place, mm-hmm. like throwing old batteries and old cans of fuel and stuff like that. And I don't want to be part of that, so I just avoided the place for a while. But you know, right now it seems that it has sort of like calmed down, so I might be able to sneak out again like 7 o'clock in the morning, so nobody's there, and just do my thing.
Okay, so do you travel for events or meetings? Do you right now with COVID it's difficult, but did you go to many events outside of the area that you live in?
Oh, I've been really lucky to attend a ton of events, also a ton of events in the States. But yeah, like you said, right now with COVID, there's no travel, so I've been stuck over here since, God, a really long time now, it feels. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that once everything is like calmed down and people are vaccinated and stuff starts to feel safe again, that I will travel again too. Just at the moment, I don't see an end to it yet. I don't see like a definitive end date to where I feel comfortable again to travel. So for the time being, I'll just avoid events as much as possible. I've toyed with the idea of organizing an event over here, which might still happen in the future. But it needs to be comfortable for everybody. It needs to be. I want to have something that's well organized. I want to have something with plenty of stuff to do. It shouldn't be like too geared towards like one aspect of the hobby. And I think that when all those things sort of like match up that it's time to really organize something and to get it done.
Okay. So, but imagine that there is no COVID anymore.
Yeah.
Where would you like to go first?
Well, I would of course like to go to Poland because I see that you guys put on a really nice event, and I'm really curious to see that up close. I also know that in Italy there's been a couple of nice events that I go like, you know, I can really imagine myself sitting there, drinking wine and eating pizza, and maybe RCing a bit too. I could also imagine that I would visit something in France. My mom is from France, so she lives there. She's not from there. Her French is horrible, but don't tell her. She's not on Facebook, so she's not watching this. My mom is sweet. But yeah, France, I can imagine. But also, of course, the US. I've been to a couple of crazy nice events in the US. Some stuff, of course, changes over time. That you go like, you know, the vibe that something had perhaps in 2016, 2017, 2018. Maybe you won't find that anymore, and maybe some stuff should just be sort of like left in the past as a memory instead of like trying to rekindle something that's no longer there. But well, for example, Proline by the Fire is an amazing event, and I would sure love to go there again. But that's already in October, I think, September or October. So I'm not sure if that's in the cards for me this year. But if not this year, then absolutely, fingers crossed, next year.
Fingers crossed. I would love to go too, because yeah, I would like to.
Oh, and if you're looking for something different, this is really, if anybody watching this, and if any of the 10 people are looking for something really different to go to, save your pennies and go to Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah, I've been to a crawler event in Puerto Rico. Pretty hard to beat. Not because it has great crawling or anything like that, but just because of the entire atmosphere. It was basically next to the highway. I hope I'm not insulting anybody when I say it was basically in a ditch next to a highway. Like a couple hundred people, hundreds of trucks, tons of food. Everybody was kind. It was an amazing event.
It sounds great, really.
Yeah, it was like really family friendly, from really early in the morning to late in the evening. Temperatures were of course fantastic. Yeah, so that was really nice, memorable event.
When you mentioned Italy, I was in Italy 2 times for RC event, and yeah, it is really amazing. So if only something.
In what part is it?
I have no idea. Where was it? It was 2 hours from Milan.
Okay.
So it was not at the end of the country, right? It was at the top, but I have no Maggiora. Oh, it was in Maggiora.
Okay, yeah.
It was really fun.
I used to go there as a kid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I would love to attend an event over there.
Yeah, the people are cool. The coolest. Yeah, they are really nice and so open, and of course the food is great.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3rd question: what is your dream RC?
My dream RC. Ooh. Yeah, that is a good question. You know, I think I actually have. Yeah, I think I have them all.
So you're a happy man.
I really, I don't have anything that I go like, yeah, oh yeah, more than satisfied. I could see myself perhaps getting a VS 410 in the future.
Okay.
But I'm waiting until that thing gets. I think there's an update coming like maybe new body style or something. And I think once that happens, that I'll get one. Yeah, and apart from that, you know what? I have almost 100 RCs, so I'm pretty happy with it. Yes.
Okay. So next question: what do you like the most in this hobby? What's the best part?
What I like the most, for me, is the ability to get the chance to hopefully learn somebody something, to teach somebody something. So I guess in the past it was just more about me trying to come off a bit cool on the video, and I think that by now it's more about me really trying to explain, maybe in too great detail, to somebody how you can paint a body, for example. And if I get the best feedback I can get is if somebody has painted the body and they send me pictures of what they did, and you may think that it's like not up to par or whatever, but really I love seeing what people do and what they're able to pull off just by watching a couple of videos. Because I get a lot of feedback from people that say like, oh, you know what, I'm really impatient, or I can't really sit still, but I found that just taking my time and like stepping away from it at times, because that I do that as well when I'm painting a body. Sometimes I go, you know what, I can't be bothered. I just need to like get away from it a tiny bit, do something else. And when people like that say like, you know what, and I was able to completely see it through, and this is the result. That to me is absolutely the coolest thing.
Okay, so what do you like the most about painting the body? Which part? The preparation, or the painting itself, or taking the foil off?
Well, at some stage you go like, oh, you know, you need to have an idea, of course. Sometimes you're empty for ideas. You just go, oh, you know what, I'll just paint something. But if you have an idea and you go like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if I could make something and it would turn out like such and such. Like for example, with the Losi LMT, I wanted to have that a Dutch landscape on top of it. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it has like a whole Dutch mural sort of on top.
Yeah, I watched that
you
video.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when stuff like that works out the way that you hope, because painting is a bit like it's a bit like cooking. So you just need to have all the ingredients, and then you need to mix them the right way, and then eventually you'll have a dish. So and I think the whole trying something new, because if you just want to paint something like light blue or gunmetal or whatever, that's pretty easy. But it's like when you start sort of like freestyling by mixing some colors and maybe trying some techniques that other people haven't tried yet. Like for example, I've done masking with ketchup as well, and with water, and with like Windex bottles, like this whole beer car. This is all done with rattle cans. And there's a ton of detail in it. That's one that I'm really proud of. How do you like the color of those rims, by the way?
It looks cool.
Right? Those are new on there. Those are from Spec RC, by the way. In case people don't know, because this is one of the new wheel brands that is out. Really worth checking out. Yeah, so when it then all sort of like comes together and you you see the result of your efforts, that's really cool. Sometimes you're like halfway through a paint scheme and you go like, I'm not sure if I messed it up or not, but then you just need to sort of like continue and hope for the best.
Okay, but do you enjoy, for example, masking, cutting little pieces of the tape and then putting them one by one and then adding color in the next part? Do you do stuff like that? Do you enjoy it, or is it
Well,
frustrating?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The masking part is always, it's a bit stressful. I got a ton of people messaging me, by the way, going like, "Oh my God, did I miss it?" Because they're most likely checking on YouTube and they see that this video isn't up on YouTube. So I'm not sure if I should message them back or not. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the masking. Yeah. Well, the thing with masking is you need to cut everything at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make sure that everything is done. So if you have a regular body, you need to kind of like a box. You need to divide it in separate sections. So you need to have like two sides, a front, a back, and then a top. Or usually it's like a hood and a roof that you need to really go through and make sure that you hit everything. And it becomes a bit of a routine. So I always start out with the windows, and then I hate window stickers for some reason. So for example, this is my my TRX4. So what I start out with is these is the whole bead around the window. That doesn't look like a lot of work, but to get it right, that is a bit of work. So in this case as well, I put like a skylight in. I want to have a little roof window. And then once that's done, that's when you go look at the rest of the design. In this case, for this Land Rover, I took a Porsche paint scheme. So this is something that I'd seen somebody drive around with on pictures on the Nürburgring. I was like, oh, that looks cool on a Porsche, and I bet it could work on the Land Rover too. So that's how that ended up there. Yeah, but then, well, after Windows, you just know all your standard stuff. And then you just go like, okay, you know, I could do this on the hood. I always wanted to say HemiStorm somewhere. And then I can do this on the sides, and this on the roof, and this on the back. And then you just need to make sure that all those sections that are completely cut before you start weeding out your tape. And also when you're weeding out your tape, so when you're starting to peel to fill in your colors, you need to sort of like stay relaxed and make sure that you actually have everything peeled. Because you can go back eventually and go like, oh yeah, I forgot to put some blue there, and then just try to put some blue there. But usually that really doesn't work. It turns out like crap. So
Okay, so
it's best to do it right.
okay. So what would you say to someone that never painted the body and is freaking out before doing that? So what?
Well, don't freak out, because it's supposed to be fun. Use really thin coats. If you start painting a body, it's your first body, do buy two colors. So never be satisfied with a single color paint scheme if you can help it. And if you can sort of like exercise the patience and be able to try to challenge yourself. So my biggest challenge for people is always go try those window beads, because that way you don't have to use stickers on your windows. So that means with two colors you only need a black and whatever other color you have planned for your car or for your truck. Just use those two first, see how that turns out, and then if you feel comfortable doing that and you're like comfortable with the process, then in your next body, and your name is Harry or Hank, put Harry or Hank on the side, or Harry and Hank, or put Harry on the door and Hank on the hood, and then just cut that and see if you can paint that on there, and you'll be amazed with what you're able to pull off. And it's totally cool to mess up the occasional body. My paint schemes, they never come out like 100% perfect. I always have like, or when I do think like, oh my god, that turned out perfect, then I have like, I'll look at it 6 months later, thank God, and then I go like, yeah, that's not perfect, because right now I would do this and this or that. but I guess that's the fun part of still being able to enjoy this and also find new stuff for myself to do after all these years. Because I'm not done using paint cans. A lot of people go like, yeah, but why don't you buy a Cricut? So that's one of those masking cutting machines, which I see other people, they have great results with them, and kudos to them. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. It's like, yeah, I like the whole process where people go like, oh really, you cut that out by hand? You must be insane. And I go like, yeah, I am. I really like the whole process. Yeah, but why would you do that? And I go like, well, why not? And I didn't know that was possible. Well, me neither, but I guess we found it out. So I like the whole, and I like the whole challenge of rattle cans, because it's kind of like trying to paint like a really detailed oil painting with like a roller. So it's like almost impossible. It's like you need to, it's a puzzle every time. So you always need to solve a problem. You always need to solve this whole concept of having like wide spray, and it's always the same amount of paint and sort of the same pressure paint that comes out, and then you need to work your way around that problem to be able to pull off a successful paint job. And to me, that, I guess that's my hobby the most, is that solving that problem with every car.
Okay, so how many cans of paint do you own right now?
Well, by no means much. If you look at other people who have like ridiculous sponsorship deals going on, which I don't. I own this, and this needs to be filled up. So there's some there. I guess this is, let's see, there's 10 in a row. There's 4. Then, yeah, I got like 150 cans here, I guess.
Nice collection.
And I got 60, so I got like 200 cans of paint.
Okay, so do you paint usually only the Lexan, the see-through bodies, or hard bodies also?
I have also painted hard bodies. I'm not sure if you can see it back there. That's my my Gelände 2 RC four-wheel drive. So that was my con. I was actually the first person who did a con defender back in the day. So this was before you could buy those stupid bolt-on or glue-on kits where the fenders and everything was like completely already made. So I still made mine from styrene, and that was my first styrene project, and it was really, that was actually a lot of fun to do. So I have that one. I have a van that really interesting guy, by the way, Wes Braswell made me. Do you know Wes from Wes Made?
I don't know. I don't know. No.
Oh, then and anybody watching this, go check out Wes Made on YouTube, and also on Instagram, and also on Facebook, because he is really talented. I think at this point he might be the most talented scratch builder out there. His turnout speed is crazy, and he makes molds for everything. So he vacuum forms styrene, so he is able to pull off some incredibly complex shapes. He made me a Ford Econoline van, and that body has been sitting here for way too long already, because I've been waiting for a 3D printer to come in just so I can finish off the interior, because that was like the original plan. But this whole process of me getting a printer took a bit longer than than I anticipated. But that is something that you will see appear on my channel, and I might even do a weathering paint job on it, which usually I don't do, because I really like all of my trucks to be like a showroom quality. So for me, that will be really stepping out of my comfort zone and doing something that I'm not used to or comfortable with doing. So also in those 60 cans of paint that I have on order right now, there's a lot of rusty, odd for me colors in the TS, which can also work, by the way, on Lexan, if you're careful.
Okay, so but, do you enjoy the process of painting the hard body because it's different, right? Because it's the other way around, right? Because
Yeah, it's the other way. Yeah, it's well, yeah, that's what it is. It is different, but a lot of people don't know. I also like, for example, pinstriping. So with like a tiny brush, like the stuff you do on motorcycles and a helmet and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's not like I'm not familiar with it or anything. It's just like, yeah, Lexan for me is like, I can do anything with Lexan, I feel. I'm so comfortable with Lexan that is really my material of choice.
okay, so I have one more question.
Go for it.
Okay. What are 4 things that you always take on your RC adventures?
I know what I answered the last time there.
Mm.
The time when you guys asked me when it was like still written. I think one of the 4 things that I answered there was cigarettes.
I think so, yeah. I will check actually.
Yeah, go check. I'm pretty curious. In the meantime, I will answer your question.
Okay.
4 things that I take with me. One of them, phone, 100%. So I can take a picture, or maybe even film something when I'm when I'm out. Another thing is most likely something to drink. Could be coffee, or well, it kind of depends on the season, of course. Could be coffee, could be water. So that's 2. A spare battery, I guess, also counts as a thing. And what I should bring, what I never bring, is a hex driver, or at least some tools, or something to do up my my wheel nuts. It is not rare that I find myself with my nuts undone on the trails. Just because I forgot to tie my wheels down when I left home. So, yeah, that has happened a few times.
I'm still searching. I'm so sorry because.
Yeah, I think if you look for cigarettes, that you will find it.
Really?
Yeah, that's a while ago. Yeah. I quit smoking, thank God.
Oh, that's great. How long?
Yeah.
How long did it take you from the moment that you decided to do so?
From the moment I decided to do so, it took me 8 hours to quit.
That's impressive.
I quit. Well, if you want to know the whole story, I quit cold turkey, and then the next or that evening, I guess, I thought I had like a panic attack, but it turned out, in hindsight, 6 weeks later, because I went to the doctor a week later. But 6 weeks later, one of my lungs had collapsed.
Okay.
So I've been walking around with one collapsed lung for 6 weeks after I quit smoking. So after I already made the decision to get healthy.
Nice. So, but
yeah,
you're
well,
okay.
nice.
You're okay now. It's everything.
Yeah. They managed to pull it back in place, but it gave me a different perspective of life, and also kind of rearranged my priorities. So, but also most likely rearranged some of the answers to your questions.
Okay. You said that you took cigarettes, phone, so you can call your wife that you're gonna be late.
Yeah.
Again, milk, because you always you said that you
milk.
always take.
Look, that hasn't changed. So.
Oh, okay. Milk, a box of milk or 2, a lighter.
Yeah, well, I don't need the lighter anymore either.
And
unless I want to start a forest fire, of course.
Yeah, and you said something like, I have a Polish version because I didn't find the English one. because you have to take the lighter because taking cigarettes wouldn't make sense because LiPo doesn't.
Without the lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because LiPo doesn't always start the fire or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So do you have more time? Can we go through the questions from the viewers?
Oh, the line is very bad suddenly.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
okay, just give me a second. So the question is, will you be making more painting tutorials?
Absolutely, of course, always.
Can you say what you're gonna do next, or is it a secret?
Oh no, I can definitely tell you what's going to be next. The next painting tutorial that you will see on my channel is going to be for the axial rift, which has the smallest. And I have props for this video, so this is going to be a fun video, I think. So yeah, that's going to be the next video. It has such a lack of surface to paint on. That I really need to get creative to turn that into something that I think looks good, because I don't really want to use the stickers. Comes with some pretty good looking stickers, but I don't want to use them. So yeah, that's going to be next. And after that, I'm also going to be painting, and this is maybe more like towards the hard body type of people, but I have some 3D prints that I need to paint. Yeah, so that's also going to happen on the channel, on camera. Yeah, and then I got a couple of cool bodies for the low CLMT and also for the team associated DR10, so for the dragster. I got a couple of cool bodies that I really want to get started on.
Okay.
Oh, and this is a bit, I guess, of an underrated body. The beetle, the Blake Wilkie beetle that Proline has released. Are you familiar with it?
Yes.
That one as well is going to get painted, because once I've done that painting video, I can finally go get a haircut, because I've been growing my hair to as like a prop for that video.
Oh,
so
okay.
my hair is currently this long, just so I can have like a Blake Wilkie hair for my Beetle video, and then after that I'm going to get rid of the curls.
Okay.
So
That's
also going to happen.
That's dedication, I must say.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna check more questions. Give me a second. Okay, so there are some questions about your personal life, so I'm not gonna ask them. Okay, so
About personal life?
yeah, like, are you single? But I guess it's one of your friends asking because. Okay, give me a second.
No, I'm happily married, so.
Oh, the question is, do you do custom paint for other people?
No. I have done for really super close friends. I've done paint work, but other than that, no. When I worked for Castle, I've done a couple of custom painted bodies for some of their show cars. I've painted a body for Matthew Cat once. I painted his Yeti body, both his Beetle and the Yeti XL. That was a lot of fun. And one time for RC Militia back in the day. I'm not sure if you remember that show.
Remember.
For them as well, I painted a body as a gift for their engagement. Yeah, but all of that is a lifetime ago, it seems. And apart from that, you know, I don't have like a lot of time to sort of like throw around like that. And then while I'm really focusing mostly on, well, we got two 13-year-old girls in the house every other week. So it's great fun to spend time with them before they before they start thinking that it's really uncool to hang out with like old people and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of where my time is going. So at this moment, I'm not taking any orders for custom work or whatnot. I'm happy enough that I'm able to turn out the occasional body for myself, to put it like that. Also, with the way that I paint, it's economically completely uninteresting for me to paint a body for somebody else, because there's a ton of talented people, well, like I said, who have like Cricuts and who have like airbrush, because I use of course way more paint than anybody else would use for a paint job, and I also use way more time than anybody else would use for a paint job. So if I spend, for example, 30-40 hours on a paint job, there's no way that I can make that economically interesting for somebody, because nobody paint job for me. So I don't know that it's for myself.
Okay. Okay. Are we up, or is it not working? I think we're not.
You said what?
I think that something stopped working, and
I see your screen froze.
Yeah, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you the next question before we lose the connection.
Yeah.
How do you like your Red Cat 64? This is the question from the Tank RC.
Oh, I love it. It is real. This is not a car that's for everybody, but it is so nice. It's like such a fresh idea that I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's not a car that you go like, oh, I'll go drive it, because you don't drive it. You just stand there looking at it like like an idiot, just playing with it, like bounce, bounce. So that it does amazingly well. I also have a clear body laying around for it, so that will also get painted. I've just been really, I guess, lacking the proper type of motivation to go like, yes, that's what I want to do with it. It's a very expensive body shell, and it's going to be super labor intensive to get it painted up. So I do want to have something that I go like, yeah, you know, that's great, despite perhaps being past the peak of popularity on it getting views or whatnot. The same with my Traxxas UDR. That's a truck that you haven't even seen on the channel yet, but I do have a couple of bodies laying around for it. I also have, I think, a couple of good ideas for it right now, so that's also something that I'm going to dive into, but it just needs to feel right, and I need to be in the right state of mind to go do it.
Okay, but do you sell your RC bodies, or do you keep them all for yourself?
I'm a hoarder, so I have everything. You see, maybe on top there's my Hot Wheels body that once sat on my Exoterra. I have everything still. I have given away the Molotov body panels that I once did up for my bomber. I gave those to my good friend Brad from the US, just because he is a really kind dude. Yeah, and apart from that, I hang them on the wall. So I got like the GTA body right there. I got the Power Thirst body, the Range Rover Evoque that I did up. I got that hanging on the wall. It's like nice as like, well, art, I guess, to look at as well. So yeah, like that.
Okay. So I think there was one more question. Will you come to Poland to Mania RC 2021 when the borders are open until September? That's the question.
Yeah, if I'm fully vaccinated and I feel comfortable, then I will. Again, you know, it's not like I'm in the risk group or anything. It's just that when I quit smoking, when I haven't been able to breathe for 6 weeks with like one collapsed lung, like the doctor was amazed that I didn't die, and that kind of makes you think. And I've seen people like laying in the hospitals with this whole COVID thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely staying. I mean, I have this great studio that I built, and I don't need to go anywhere. So if I can, I'll just stay here until it all blows over, and I'll just do it like that. But if everything's open and everything is safe, and we can, and I don't have to like stay a meter and a half apart from everybody, but I can just shake the occasional hand, bump an elbow, or even give people a hug if they want to get frisky, without ending up in an emergency room with a tube in my chest. Yeah, then sure, you know, count me in, because I'm all for it, definitely.
Okay. So I think that I asked you all the questions I had. So thank you very much for answering to them, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
My pleasure.
As always.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay, so see ya, and thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.